Hi, I am Allie Camaletti, and you are listening to Snack Leadership. I will be talking about everything leadership, broken down into bite-sized pieces. You will hear what different leadership skills look like in organizations and how they can rise teams up or take them down. I help leaders build resilience and improve performance by bringing awareness to opportunity behaviors in my business. Spark your mindset. I provide leadership and sales coaching, as well as team building and guest speaking. My hope is for you to feel inspiration and to create a spark in your mindset. Hi, everyone. Today we are talking about business ethics. Business ethics are the moral principles, policies, and values that govern the way companies and individuals engage in business activity. Some would say they include the values and policies that guide a company's interactions with customers, employees, and the public. So when we look at this, why are business ethics important? Well, they build trust between the company and its customers. I always like to say like internal customers and external customers, right? Even on committee members. They build trust with committee members when you're working on a board that has different board members. You gain a competitive advantage. So businesses with strong ethics can earn a positive reputation and brand loyalty. When I think about this, I think about different companies that focus on organic, right? I shop at natural grocers and everything is organic there. And so that is their competitive advantage. I don't have to be constantly looking at the different color coding to make sure I'm buying organic or not. Another is contribute to society. Businesses can contribute to society and the environment through corporate social responsibilities, whatever that looks like, whether they focus on recycling or different areas that directly affect society. So let's give some just basic examples before we deep dive a little bit into an article. Examples of business ethics are fairness, treating employees fairly, providing reasonable prices, and making a mutually beneficial deals with suppliers. Fairness is very important to me when I think about how I operate and ensuring everybody feels like things are fair, something I'm always going to listen to. Accountability. Oh, I tell you what, I think this is the biggest one that I see companies really struggle with. It's holding people accountable. And that's for their actions. Transparency. Being open and honest about a company's business practices. Are you hiding something as a business? You can tell when that's the case. I remember I use this facial lotion that is focused on organic, and I had a friend say that she saw the owner buying olive oil that wasn't organic, and that stuck out for her. And she believed that that was going into the product that was being produced. And so she didn't feel that was transparent. She felt like the company was lying. Then respect for the rule of law. Adhering to laws and regulations. Right now, I am focusing on some content for education with human resources. And it is so interesting the different areas that not always companies realize when it comes to making sure that they're focusing on the law and being in compliance. So I found this article by Harvard Business School, and it's like, what are business ethics and why are they important? So from artificial intelligence to facial recognition technology, organizations face an increasing number of ethical dilemmas. Absolutely. So while innovation can aid business growth, it can also create opportunities for potential abuse. And sometimes we don't always know what the abuse is going to look like before when we implement it. We think, oh, this is a great idea. One of the examples I thought of was employees being able to log in on an app to show when they start work. The great part of this is being the vacation rental industry, you might have employees that are housekeepers and teams go straight to their location to start work. So they log in on their app in their car. Well, the other part, somebody's running late, they can just log in. So I hear about this a lot. It sounded great originally, but I'm not so sure it's great anymore. And how that affects the business, because payroll is one of the biggest expenses for companies. What are business ethics, right? Everybody has a little bit of a different definition, but overall, they're principles that guide decision making. As a leader, you'll face many challenges in the workplace because of different interpretations of what's ethical. Situations often require navigating the gray area where it's unclear what's right or wrong. So when making decisions, your experiences, opinions, and perspectives can influence what you believe to be ethical, making it vital to, again, be transparent, invite feedback, consider impacts on employees, stakeholders, and society. And then last, reflect on past experiences to learn what you could have done better. I love this with the tigers that I work with. This is something that we call risk, right? Anytime you take risk, let's reflect on what could have been different, maybe when that situation didn't go how you thought it was going to go, and learn from it. The way to think about ethics, according to Harvard Business School professor Vikram Gandhi, he says, what are the externalities that your business creates, both positive and negative? Right? And so he's a professor in leadership, ethics, and corporate accountability. And therefore, how do you increase the positive elements of externalities? And how do you decrease the negative? So when we look at ethical responsibilities to society, promoting ethical conduct can benefit both your company and society long term. He is a strong believer that long-term focus is what creates long-term value. I know that something I focus on is the long term, not short term. What's going to happen in my business down the road, not just always right now. He says you should get stakeholders in your company that have the same perspective, that it's not always about the immediacy, it's about long term. Prioritizing the triple bottom line is an effective way for your business to fulfill its environmental responsibilities and create long-term value. It focuses on 3 factors. They put this in a different order than I would put it, so I'm going to flip it around a little bit. I'm always going to say people first. How your company affects customers, employees, and stakeholders. Because in business that I focus on, I've always focused on people first. Then you can say profit, the financial return your company generates for stakeholders, as well as planet, your company's impact on the planet and environment. I believe if you do people, planet, the profit will show. It will. So ethical and corporate social responsibility considerations can go a long way toward creating value, especially since an increasing number of customers, employees, and investors expect organizations to prioritize the CSR. According to the Conscious Consumer Spending Index, 67% of customers prefer buying from socially responsible companies. Absolutely. So to prevent costly employee turnover and satisfying customers, strive to fulfill your ethical responsibility to society. I know even as someone who has been employed before, I wanted to work for companies that were ethically responsible. So ethical responsibilities to customers. As a leader, you must ensure you don't mislead your customers. Doing so can backfire, negatively impacting your organization's credibility and profits, because it will be found out. Absolutely. Actions to avoid include greenwashing, taking advantage of customers' CSR preferences by claiming your business practices are sustainable when they aren't. That will come out. False advertising, making unverified or untrue claims in advertisements or promotional material. I think that's always been a value of mine, is under promise, over deliver. And I focus on that in everything I do. And then just making false promises, lying to make a sale. This comes up in so many different ways. Being in vacation rentals, sometimes I'll hear about homeowners being told what they want to hear just for them to sign on to a vacation rental company. Oh no, that will backfire. It'll put the stress on the employees who might be trying to get them the revenue they're looking for their vacation rental, or fulfill what they said was going to happen, and that affects the overall company. These unethical practices can result in multi-million-dollar lawsuits, as well as highly dissatisfied customers. Absolutely. So, ethical responsibilities to employees. You also have those responsibilities to your employees from the beginning to the end of their employment. One area of business ethics that receives a lot of attention is employee termination. According to Leadership Ethics and Corporate Accountability, letting an employee go requires an individualized approach that ensures fairness. Not only can wrongful termination cost your company up towards $100,000 in legal expenses, it can also negatively impact other employees' morale and how they perceive your leadership. So ethical business practices have additional benefits, such as attracting and retaining talented employees willing to take pay cuts to work for a socially responsible company. Approximately 40% of millennials say they would switch jobs to work for a company that emphasizes sustainability. Ultimately, it's crucial to do your best to treat employees fairly. People come first. So why are ethics important? Failure to understand and apply business ethics can result in moral disengagement. Moral disengagement refers to ways in which we convince ourselves that what we're doing is not wrong, right? You've heard people like justify. So the Leadership Ethics and Corporate Accountability division of Harvard Business School talks about it can upset the balance of judgment, causing us to prioritize our personal commitments over shared beliefs, rules, and principles. Or it can skew our logic to make unethical behaviors appear less harmful or not wrong. If you create a certain amount of harm to a society, your customers or employees, over a period of time, that's going to have a negative impact on your economic value, they say. This is reflected in over half of the top 10 largest bankruptcies between 1980 and 2013 that resulted from unethical behavior. As a business leader, strive to make ethical decisions and fulfill your responsibilities to stakeholders. So how do we implement business ethics? Become a more ethical leader. It's crucial to have a balanced long-term focus. It's very important to balance the fact that even if you're focused on the long term, you have to perform in the short term as well, and have a very clear, articulated strategy around that. Gandhi says in Leadership Ethics and Corporate Accountability, make ethical decisions requires reflective leadership. Reflecting on complex, gray area decisions is a key part of what it means to be human, as well as an effective leader. You have agency. You must choose how to act, and with that agency comes responsibility. He from the Ethics Division of Harvard School advises asking the following questions. Are you using the greater good to justify unethical behavior? Are you downplaying your actions to feel better? Ask these similar questions at regular intervals. It can help you notice when you or your others may be approaching the line between making a tough but ethical call and justifying problematic actions. So I'll leave with you this quote. Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do, by Potter Stewart. Thank you for tuning in to Snack Leadership. I hope you felt inspiration, motivation, and felt your mindset spark. Snack Leadership is recorded and produced by myself, Ali Camilletti, and music by Shireen Amini.